This is a photo of Cloudbreak in Fiji near Tabarua Island, and my first trip was in '87, which was a pretty interesting trip for a week, and then I think I went back in '89, and then this is actually the first time I saw a proper cloudbreak at like 6 to 8 feet. We didn't know it was going to be good, and it was super overcast, super glassy, like a mirror. The ocean was so smooth, and the waves. We were out fishing, and then all of a sudden we got a call from the office, and the fishing boat said, "Hey, you guys, the waves just picked up." It's like it picked up from like 2 feet to 8 feet in like a matter of an hour. And Dave Clark, the original Tabarua founder, he had called the office and said, "Hey, have someone bring out my bigger boards." And I was with Jeff Booth, and so we got the call from the office. We jammed back to the island, unloaded all the fishing gear. Jeff went and grabbed his surfboards. We got Dave's boards, and we went zooming out there. And this is just a lucky photo again. I mean, I didn't like dream this thing up and compose it and go, "Oh, this is gonna look good pulled back." I just was shooting off the hip. And Jeff Booth, this was the first time Jeff Booth surfed the wave like this, and he couldn't believe, because a couple of nicknames for Cloudbreak are one of them is called Pipeline Point, because the wave is just like pipeline, but it's like a point break and it just keeps going and going. Pipeline's a fairly short wave generally, and this wave just, like Jeff said, he'd never been in the barrel and pumped for so long in the barrel. And so that's the story behind this wave. I mean, obviously it gets like this a lot, but I've actually tried to duplicate this photo. I can't remember, it's a film photo, so that you don't have all the metadata. And I think I was shooting with kind of a medium telephoto, and my recollection tells me that we were actually moving when I shot this photo. And I can't believe it came out this sharp, but I think it was because the water was so flat, the boat was just not bouncing at all. It was just really cruising smoothly. And so it's basically a lucky photo, and it's the first time myself or Jeff Booth had ever seen Cloudbreak like this. It was absolutely perfect. This was probably the early days of contemporary surf photography. I don't know when you would call contemporary surf photography, starting in the 70s or the 80s. Or if I shot this photo now, no one would ever see it or even think about it. But in those days back then, before digital and all this communication stuff, photos would be printed in the magazine, and I think this was originally first used as a Rainbow Sandals ad. And when a photo's in a magazine in the old days, when this photo came out, I think it was monthly by then, but people would get the magazine, and this is the only source of surf photos they would get. They'd get the magazine and then they'd look at it for a month. So any time you had a double page spread or a cover or important photos or photos that just somehow stood out, having them in the magazine and having people look at them for a month straight really, kind of imprinted them into your brain. And so you get people, older surfers, come up to you and they remember so many of your photos whereas nowadays, a great photo is online and people look at it for 10 seconds and then they forget about it and they're on to the next thing. So that was one of the great things about shooting photos before these contemporary times, is that people actually spent time looking at photos, and it wasn't just turn and burn,